And just lastly, just to reference that we do have an 800 number if anything weird were to happen. Oh, there we go. Now we are live on Instagram. Thank you guys and welcome. Sorry for that little hiccup. We are live on Zoom, just going over the safety information on Botox Cosmetic right now. So yes, again, there's an 800 number. If anything weird were to happen from your treatment, then please report it to Allergan. Please report it to your prescriber and let us know, because we do take that seriously. Even whether it happened in our clinical study or not, we do have that reporting number for you. Okay, so jumping into the fun stuff now. Thank you again for everyone who's joining us on Instagram and on Zoom here tonight. Those of you that RSVP'd on Zoom, just to let you know, you are entered into a raffle to win 20 free units tonight, so thank you. So the fun stuff. We are going to talk about the 3 approved areas, like I mentioned earlier. We have the forehead line indication, which got FDA approved the frown indication got FDA approved in 2002. So 18 years on the market for cosmetic use there. Then in 2013, we got crow's feet lines indicated, and 2017 was forehead lines. So 3 areas. We're treating the upper part of the face. Some people get that confused with fillers. Fillers are going to be for the lower 2/3 of the face. So that's going to be filling and correcting lines and wrinkles down there, where Botox is going to be temporary relaxing that muscle contraction that takes place. So anytime you make that expression, that angry frown face, surprise when you raise your eyebrows, and smiling, we get the radial lines in the crow's feet area. That is what we're relaxing with Botox. So that's temporarily up to 4 months. All right, so moving on, Botox is the name and brand that we know and trust since 2002 for cosmetic use. It's the name that Valencia Medical Center trusts here. Number 1 selling treatment of its kind, precise and predictable results. That's really what I want to stress tonight. Once we find the right amount of units for you in these 3 areas, you're always going to get the same exact outcome. Expect the same duration, the same results every single time. And we did a study back in 2018. 80% of the doctors in that study were surveyed to choose Botox Cosmetic to treat themselves and family members. So that's huge. That is speaking volumes in terms of a brand and product that we trust. Okay, so the 3 areas. The FDA did study a specific amount of units to get you that longest duration. So more units is going to equal longer duration. If you're running into an issue where you're finding that your treatment isn't lasting as long as you want it to, it's not getting close to that 4-month duration, you might be underdosed. So whether that's a budget concern or we just didn't have enough education on it for you in the past, we want to make sure you know that the frown line should really be about 20 units. That's what the FDA recommends. Foreheads, 20 units. Crow's feet is 12 and 12 on each eye, so that's 24 total. If we're treating the whole upper third of the face, these 3 areas, it's going to be 64 units total. So that's going to get you the longest duration, the best outcome. Dr. Ibrahim will work with your anatomy, your budget. If we need to do 1 area at a time to space it out, that's totally fine. But we want to make sure that you're getting the full dose. I mentioned it's a prescribed drug. So you want to get that full dose. It's like taking your antibiotics, taking an aspirin. If we are taking half dose, it's not going to work as well. So we do want to customize that to you, but that is what the FDA recommends, 64 units total. So keep that in mind. Should be lasting you up to 4 months, but we do have data on file up to 180 days. So 6 months would be ideally what we could see for you. Now on my Zoom webcast, I do have a video of the expressions. It does kind of glitch on me sometimes and it doesn't look like it's going to work tonight, but I can show you. The frown is that angry face where you get the 11s, we call it. Sometimes we get a horizontal line across here as well. Forehead is the horizontal lines here, and crow's feet can be those radial lines out here. So unfortunately my video on Zoom isn't working, but I'll go ahead and skip to the next slide here. So this is really for our newbies. What to expect from your treatment if you are coming in for the first time and have never tried Botox. We welcome you here at Valencia Medical Center. It's a really quick appointment, about 10 minutes. We used to call it our lunchtime procedure. So you can be in and out of here really quick. It feels, as far as pain level, like a pinch. So we do about 3 to 5 pokes each area that we're treating. So those are just little pinches, maybe as much as a bee sting. And then what to expect as far as how soon it'll work. It isn't instant. Our fillers that we're treating in the lower part of the face, those are instant. So what you see when you leave is what it's going to look like for the most part. But with Botox, it does take about 24 to 48 hours to start working. So it has a fast onset. For myself, my personal use, 24 hours, 48 hours, I start to notice my expressions that I make are a little bit weaker. So it might not be in full effect. That could be, around 7 days or so. We want to follow up with you at the 2-week mark and make sure that it's fully kicked in. If not, then we can tweak the amount of units for you and make sure we get you to the right dose. And once you have that right dose, we'll mark it in your chart and you're always going to get the same outcome. And that's what's so great about Botox. It's so predictable that way. So for me personally, gradually starting to see it take effect. For some others, they may not notice that gradual effect and they're waking up, next certain day, maybe it's day 5, day 3, 7, 8, 9, whatever it may be, and you wake up and say, oh, my Botox is working. So everyone's a little bit different in that aspect, but it does have a fast onset. And like I mentioned, Botox Cosmetic has been around for 18 years, #1 product of its kind, but 30 years of manufacturing experience. So that speaks huge volumes. We're really proud of that fact that it's tried and true, 30 years of manufacturing with all the therapeutic indications, which is over 100 million vials sold since that time, and that's globally. So, it doesn't mention it on this slide, but there's over 2,500 published articles on Botox, therapeutic and cosmetic. So it's a very well-studied and safe drug that you guys can feel comfortable using. And don't be afraid to ask for it by name. I know there's other wrinkle relaxers out there, but 100 million vials sold. Valencia Plastic Surgery is contributing to that, and they are adding to that every single day because they believe in what Botox can do. So feel free to ask for it by name. Okay, so to end on my presentation is about our rewards program. Most of you probably know about Brilliant Distinctions. If you don't, we welcome you to join, but we just went through this fun upgrade and now we call Brilliant Distinctions ALLE, ALLE. So on Zoom, I'm just going to X out of my screen here and take you to the ALLE website. So go to alle.com, ALLE.com, and then we're just going to go to the top right-hand corner and click Join Now. So if you haven't migrated from Brilliant Distinctions to ALLE, you can do so tonight. I do recommend it because it's needed for our gift card sale tomorrow. So you'll hit Join with Brilliant Distinctions, you'll migrate your points over, log in with your information, reset your password if needed. It's super easy and quick. And then I'm going to jump on Zoom to another screen. Hopefully you guys can all see this okay. And let me just go ahead and refresh it. So the screen that I'm taking you to now is where the gift card sale is going to be. So that is BotoxCosmeticDay.alle.com. So again, that's BotoxCosmeticDay.alle.com. And what you guys can do tonight is plug in your information here on this website so that you'll get the reminder text. And when it goes live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., you'll be able to buy the gift card, which is a BOGO offer, $50, and you get a $50 gift card for free. So that's while supplies last. We do expect it to sell out quickly. So set your reminders, log in at 9 a.m., and purchase that gift card. And a special honor that we're doing for Valencia Medical Center, because we want you to redeem that gift card here, is we're matching that $100.
I hope everybody can hear me. I just unmuted myself, but
yes, we can hear you.
I think it's working though. So I've actually gotten a few questions both on here and
Instagram. And sorry.
All right. So I'm gonna start with the first question we have here. And someone just asked in the chat room why sometimes the Botox didn't like.
main things we see is that people sometimes get a little bit of an underdose. So if you don't get enough, I'm sorry, we're just getting the Instagram live here. Thanks. Okay, so a lot of times, as Allison was mentioning, we do need up to 64 units to treat the three most commonly treated areas, which are the glabella or the 11 line, the forehead, and the crow's feet around the eyes. So if you are not getting, and I understand many times people are on a budget, so we can definitely work with you, but you have to understand that if you get undertreated, you might not get results that last as much, or it might not be as strong. So that's why it's always good to kind of talk to your doctor and find a good balance to make sure that you're not getting undertreated. So let me see how. I have a couple other questions. I can read them here, or I'm wondering if there's a way to unmute the people so they can ask it. Oh, here, let me figure out how to do the chat box. You can come here and do it. Sorry. And I'm actually gonna, as you open up the chat box over here, I'll be kinda, oh, here. So Alan just asked if it's safe for men, and absolutely, is it not only it's safe for men, but we're actually seeing a lot more men come and get it. It's recommended for men. I personally get it all the time, or every 3 to 4 months. So definitely, I mean, it's an anti-aging procedure, and we are seeing more and more men come and get it. Most commonly done areas are the glabella, again, the forehead, and sometimes around the eyes. So it's definitely safe, and it really works. Okay. So we have another, and I don't know if the rest of you guys can see the chat or not, but we have a question here. What's the difference between Botox and other brands such as Dysport, or I think they were trying to say Xeomin here, but they just misspelled it. So yes, there's Botox, there's Dysport, and there's Xeomin on the market, and they're all neuromodulators. They all work in their own way. Botox does have kind of the lion's share in the market. They are the most commonly used one, in part because they've been there the longest. They've been around for cosmetic reasons since 2002, and even earlier for other indications, as Allison mentioned. So they do have a long, they have a long history of safety, and we kind of know how they work. If once we kind of get you to come in and get your Botox dosage right, we can expect consistent results, and we know what to expect with the Botox. So the other brands kind of work in slightly different ways. So it's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but Botox is the one that's been established the longest, and it's the one that's most people honestly end up using. All right, and Allison, feel free to jump in at any time. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go in through the rest of the chat and kind of read some of the questions. So
I just wanted to quickly interrupt because I think we might get shut off in 10 minutes. So we'll try and answer everything in the chat, but we can continue the Q&A on Instagram if needed, if we do get shut off at 6.
Perfect. And this is actually a question from Instagram, and they're asking if they join Ali now, will they have anything to roll over from Brilliant Distinctions? I think that's a good question for Allison, but yes, they are the same kind of program. So it shouldn't be any issues when you come in to get your treatment. We can definitely help you here too in the enrollment if there's anything that needs to be done, and adding any additional points that you're gonna get for your treatments that you get here.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're just going to migrate your Brilliant Distinctions points over to Ali, and you can do so by going to alle.com, ALLE.com. And if you have any issues, then we have a customer support number we can call together with you. If you come into the office and it didn't work and you're missing some points, we'll get that manually fixed for you.
Absolutely. And honestly, the customer service at Allergan is really great. So we never really tend to have any issues. Another question here is that will my 11 lines go away? And so the 11 lines are probably the most commonly treated area with Botox overall. And it's these 2 lines that we sometimes get in the forehead that makes us look angry. So the question is, will it go away? And the answer, honestly, is that it depends. It depends on where we're starting, how deep the lines are. So there's gonna be, and how many units we use. Again, you don't want to go to a place where you get undertreated, and then you don't see the results you get. So some people, especially if we do it early enough, and if they respond well, the lines might go away from the first time, especially if they're still dynamic lines. Sometimes they might not go away completely initially, but if you do need to get that Botox every 3 to 4 months, and they will smoothen out a little bit more each time until they eventually, hopefully, go away. Another question is, do I need to be over 40 to start using Botox? And definitely not. I started long before, well, I'm not 40 yet, but I did start. And most people start before that. But the thing is, Botox treats the muscle, not the skin itself. And so it's great at preventing these lines from, preventing these wrinkles and these lines from appearing in the forehead. And that's actually great because once the lines are actually in the skin, they become much harder to treat. So you still can treat them, and you do want to get Botox even if you have lines, to soften them and to prevent them from getting worse. But it's much, much better to start before you have these deep lines, because then you can prevent them from happening in the first place. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm looking at the Instagram chat here and the chat box on Zoom call. Somebody asked, "What are the most popular Botox injection areas for men?" And I would say it's very similar for both men and women. Maybe the most common would be the 11 line, and then very close second and third would be the forehead and the crow's feet. So, and these are the three main indications for Botox. Now, we do use Botox off-label sometimes for other areas of the face. A popular one is the lip flip, where we use some Botox on the lips to help bring the lip up out a little more. So that is a commonly used area. We use it for the masseter, for people who grind their teeth at night or who have TMJ pain. Botox can definitely help with that. We do use Botox for migraines here at times, which is an on-label use. But the most common, the most popular areas from an aesthetic perspective, at least, would be the forehead, along with the glabella and the crow's feet. And yeah, someone asked if we can do a Brawl lift with the Botox, and we can do that. We can do it's usually a lateral kind of Brawl lift, but we have to kind of evaluate the person. That's not an on-label indication of Botox, so it can be done, but it will depend on each person and their anatomy and what we can achieve. But it's definitely something that people ask about a lot and that we can do. Is there an average volume needed for that, for the Brawl lift? It really, again, it really depends. You have to look at the face as a whole. It's not. I know sometimes you just want to say, oh, you just do like one unit or a couple units here, and that gives you that other result. But especially when you're doing something like a Brawl lift, you have to look at the whole face. Whether you need to do the whole, just like 1 or 2 points, or whether you kind of have to do around the whole eyes. So you have to look at the whole face as a whole when it comes to things like that, and take a look. So there isn't a one answer fits all for everybody, unfortunately. All right, we actually have a couple more questions. What should you not do after Botox? And that's coming from Instagram. The main thing I always tell people is that we put the Botox in specific muscles and specific areas of the face, and so we don't want it to move to different muscles and different areas that we don't intend to be affected. So what that translates into is that you don't want to apply a lot of direct pressure to the area immediately after, meaning, you want to just be kind of a little bit gentle in that area. You don't want to be touching the area too much. If you're washing your face, you don't want to be scrubbing really hard and pushing really hard. We tell people to avoid getting a massage or doing anything where they're kind of laying face down with like a firm surface against their forehead. for at least a day or two after the Botox. And then other than that, so it's mainly just kind of keeping pressure away from the area, not to manipulate the area too much. I always tell my clients not to apply makeup for at least 4 or 5 hours, just to allow the skin to heal from the injection sites. Avoid things that can make you sweat, like exercise and sauna and steam room, just for the next few hours or the rest of the day. But usually by the next day, you're absolutely fine. So there isn't really a downtime, you know, after Botox. It's just being gentle around the area and maybe not applying makeup directly on it for a few hours. All right. I think that's most of the questions. Someone's asking that they heard that Botox can be used for sweaty hands. Can you use it on the feet and under the arms as well? And absolutely, yes. So Botox, before we were even using it for cosmetics, sometimes we've been using it for hyperhidrosis, which is increased sweat. So the commonly done areas for that would be the palm. We use it on the feet and we use it under arms as well. So we definitely can use Botox for that, and we do it all the time. And it works very well for that. And then in terms of how long it lasts, because some people were asking about that, again, there is some variation from person to person, but I would say on average 3 to 4 months is what most people end up you know, seeing or coming back for their new treatment. It honestly tends to last a little bit more than 3 months, but that's when a lot of the effects starts to go down. So that's when a lot of people around 3 to 4 months come back for their second or third treatment. I think these are most of the questions. I'm sure I missed some kind of going out the chat here, but if there's any kind of other burning questions, you guys can type it again in the chat. Is there any risks of developing a bad physical reaction to Botox, such as an allergic reaction? So is it possible to get an allergic reaction to Botox? It's possible to get an allergic reaction to almost anything. That being said, it's extremely rare. We've never had anybody here develop any kind of like an actual allergic reaction to Botox. Again, theoretically, it's possible. I'm sure it happened, you know, somehow, somewhere, but overall, it's an extremely safe, you know, treatment. There's as Allison mentioned, there's over 100 million vials of Botox that have been sold and done in the, you know, since Botox was manufactured. And, you know, when you do 100 million vials of anything, I'm sure there's going to be, you know, certain side effects. But overall, it's a very, very safe. It's actually one of the first treatments that people are starting to get into the aesthetics. They want to kind of get their feet wet. They start with Botox as opposed to fillers or other treatments, just because it's a very simple 10-minute treatment. It gives you great results, and it's very safe overall, I would say. Yeah. I think that's most of the questions for now. Was there anything else you wanted to add, Allison?
No, I think that was great. I think we covered everything, and I'm glad everyone had such amazing questions to ask. We covered a lot tonight. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I really want to thank everybody for joining. I mean, it just got to hit 6 o'clock, so we're just on time. I know there's going to be a winner. I'm not sure how they're going to announce that, if it's going to be on Instagram. Is it? Yeah, so I'm getting a yes. So, yeah, just follow us on Instagram. And at Valencia Medical Center, and then we're going to be announcing the big winner tomorrow. And also, even if you don't win, you know, Allison mentioned the gift card, so that's a really great way to get kind of more bang for your buck. So,
yes, so tomorrow 9 a.m. BotoxCosmeticDay.ally.com.
Awesome. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. I guess that's it. All right,
take care.